All right, welcome YouTube. This is going to be a 7-game show match. Let me set up the scoreboard over here. So this is a 7-game. It's not really a best of 7. It's a play all 7. So that's what we're going for. Let's restart that intro, okay? So what's going on, YouTube? This is a 7-game show match between Infinity Legends, BacT, Capoch, and Project Belgium in warm colors versus DauT, Fire, and Miguel. This is the first game. In this set, we are going to Arabia, and on the left side of the map, we are going to have DauT playing as flank as Chinese. To the south, we are going to have Britons for Fire in blue, so no Ethiopians for us in Arabia. A little bit surprising. We will have Miguel as Franks in pocket as green. Other pocket is also going to be Franks for Capoch in yellow, and their flanks will be Ethiopians for Project Belgium's in red, and Chinese for BacT in purple. So both teams picking Chinese over here, which is interesting, but not something unprecedented. Chinese is a very, very strong archer civ, strong eco for Arabia. I think that based on the maps that are in the map pack for this show match, I could see a use for Chinese elsewhere, and I could have justified picking, let's say, Ethiopians here instead of Chinese for DauT. However, it is a totally defendable choice. Chinese is still one of the strongest archer civs in the game. And speaking of DauT, he's got an amazing map here. This gold mine isn't perfect because this is a very thin layer of wood, so crossbows from here could deny some parts of the gold mine. But placing a mining camp over here is going to be pretty easy, and you're going to have a safe gold. Wood lines are relatively decent, and DauT doesn't need to do a lot of walling to make this base very safe. These berries will be a little bit exposed, but I feel like with some small walls, he can have a nice little base to work with. Ethiopians versus Britons in a 3v3, which could be better. I would say that in feudal Ethiopians by a massive margin. Starting from castle, it depends on what type of engagements the Briton player is taking. So it depends on the Briton player's micro starting castle age. And if he's mismicroing it, he's gonna get destroyed because Britons don't have thumbring, and Ethiopian archers already fire faster by default, so the rate of fire difference is going to be massive in between Briton crossbows and arbs versus Ethiopian arbs. So the Britons have to be able to use their range in this one. In this show match, laming is allowed, but it appears that none of the players are actually going for it. We will have a nice and peaceful Dark Age. And indeed, it's worth noting how far back Miguel has spawned. This is a somewhat unlucky map spawn for him. Like, in terms of wallability, this is easy to wall off. However, as we do have the Scout of Project Belgium eating some TC fire from fire over here, not something that you really want for Bugum, and you already have Fire chasing down the low HP Scout. It's only 9 HP. So the thing is that I feel like Miguel is so far back that it's going to hurt his team quite heavily because he's very far away from his teammate in comparison to the other pocket that is just much closer to his teammates, and the pocket has to be able to help. Over here, it looks like Fire was trying to trap that scout over there, but that wasn't really working out. So that's basically what we start with for a Dark Age. Most of the players are pushing in there, not really scouting the opponent so far. And, well, it looks like Project Belgium, indeed, now he's just 3 HP, so he has to come back to his TC. He's trying to save this scout because he may want to use this to push deer later on. Fire, I think he did see the deer here, so it is completely legitimate for him to try and deny that deer from his opponent. And that way Project Belgium's eco isn't going to be as strong as it could possibly be. We have 1 deer pushed in by Fire already. And indeed, Project Belgium is pushing deer. This is why I said Fire could easily deny this one. All he needs to do is just camp here. I think he reacts a little bit too late for this one, and he's not willing to commit, so Project Belgium will get away with 1 deer push, but all that Fire needs to do here is just camp these deer, and Project Belgium will not be able to push that in. We're gonna have BacT coming up with some walls over here using what is 3 villagers to wall. It's a reasonable wall layout. Bringing in a 4th one tries to trap that scout from DauT. BacT has had some nice performances. I think in Red Bull he has played quite decently, so he's getting back to his old shape, and he's got a beautiful gold at the back. If he places a house here, he could be fine, and the main concern I'm having right now is I don't think that BacT knows about this hole. He will find it out with the lumber camp, I believe so, but this is very dangerous for him. Because the game is pretty unstable when it comes to casting, I'm somewhat hesitant to switch to player POVs, so we will just avoid that, and yeah, BacT should be able to see this, but he's lucky he placed his lumber camp over here, because if he doesn't spot this hole, that would have been a disaster. Anyways, it looks like BacT is going up to feudal right away. With Chinese, this feels like a standard archer's opening over here. No man-at-arms, no drush, and we do have a drush coming in here from Fire, Project Belgium, getting clapped over here at the beginning of this game. There is malicious coming from him as well, but we already have the scout from Miguel over here as well. Miguel is almost up to feudal, so he's gonna get +2 attack on that scout in a matter of seconds as well. Let's see if this villager is going to survive. Nope, he won't. There is one gold villager here for Project Belgium, but remember, Palisade walls have also been nerfed, so their HP is only 150. And I think that the Fire could actually try bashing his way through that wall. Once Project Belgium reaches feudal age, those walls will be a little bit stronger. And he could also unpop his militias, which I think wants to be a man-at-arms play for him. We have some crazy long walls here for Capoch. This hurts him so badly because it's not like he needs this immediately. And the thing is that this is a huge investment in terms of wood. Like, he's going to be fine, but that's an awful lot of wood investment, whereas if you take a look at Miguel, he doesn't have to invest that much wood into that, which benefits him quite really. Miguel already has 4 scouts queued up over here, holy smokes. He's ready to roll. Anyways, if you are Fire right now, you are also getting man-at-arms upgrade. Project Belgium will have a couple of seconds advantage, but at the end of the day, we will have man-at-arms versus man-at-arms. We also have a full HP scout helping out here, so this should be a fight that is won by Fire. Some miss micro over there keeps the scout alive, which is pretty important in this scenario. And now, yoinks Project Belgium's scout. This was an excellent fight for Fire over here. So far, Project Belgium is pretty much getting clapped here. And it looks like that Palisade is finished to an extent where the villager is going to be safe. Nice quick wall from Project Belgium. So these man-at-arms won't really be able to get inside, but the man-at-arms still bashing their way through the gates. And remember, gates were also nerfed, so it may still be possible for Fire to get through this. The two players are very close to each other, as we have Project Belgium opening with double ranges. Fire only opened one, but his ranges were completed a lot earlier. Ranges coming in as well for DauT. And it looks like BacT is playing this one super passive. He's just big chilling back at home with the Chinese eco. Is he Chinese? Yes, he's Chinese. It's Chinese versus Chinese on the north. So it's not like he's gonna have any eco lead over DauT at this point. And as I said, I feel like Capoch is investing so much into walling this one off. Fun fact, this is actually open. You can walk through here, and I'm not sure if Capoch knows about this one. I think we have a pause. You're not going to see that on the overlay, because Capture Age does not, support that text right now, but it's actually a pause, and it's not unprecedented with BacT games, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of these walls for Miguel either. It's like walls here and here would be a lot more reasonable, but Capoch may actually be open here for the majority of the game. Anyways, we have scouts coming in. I think after pauses, the game is going to slow down a little bit. That's just a Capture Age thing. But now it's back on track. Yeah, this Capture Age blue is actually pretty bad. I already gave that feedback to the Capture Age team. Anyways, I like that Fire still has his... Fire still has his men-at-arms marching around, because it can be very helpful bashing through the walls. And remember, Project Belgium doesn't really have a lot of archers. In fact, Project Belgium right now has 4 archers. Fire has 3 archers over here, but more importantly, there is scouts here as well. So the archers from Project Belgium would be picked off by scouts, and as I said, Bugham's woodline here is getting pushed pretty hard. That could be one dead villager pretty soon, and as I said, the scouts can just keep those archers away until these archers are killing Project Belgium, and walls are also slowly going down. So with good micro, Miguel's team could actually get a lot of damage done here. Project Belgium running for his life over here, but that's a lot of scouts from Miguel. And we will have, what is, I think, 2 villagers killed and a lot of idle time on Project Belgium. Other side is relatively peaceful for the time being. We have BacT marching forward. DauT should be able to defend against this one, but his wood line may get hit hard. Let's see how fast DauT reacts to this. No reaction just yet. losing one villager, now reacts to this. The problem for DauT is that he's got like 2 reasonable wood lines to work with. Maybe he can go for this one, and now he's gonna dispatch his own archers to defend against that. And this is the moment where you could actually get Miguel's scouts to try and pick off BacT+'s archers. Because these guys are alone in the field and scouts would just smash them very easily. Scouts are coming in from Capoch as well, but Miguel has 7 scouts on the field, Capoch only has 4. Capoch with the 2 villagers lead though. You can see all the eco upgrades over here in this brand new Capture Age overlay now. And Capoch actually walled himself up. So both pockets, actually, the majority of the players are fully walled now. And as I said now, Miguel is going to move to try and intercept these archers. Taking one fight like this could actually win you the game here. So these scouts right now do not have +1 defense yet. But if they can intercept these archers, this is a huge value. Losing 12 archers in Feudal is a disaster in a 3v3 team game. Something that was discussed heavily in 2v2 World Cup as well, that oftentimes in 2v2 World Cup, the games felt like if you take one bad engagement, you're gonna lose the game, and such a bad engagement could actually be a disaster. So, especially if +1 defense comes in here for Miguel, he's going up to castle already. Miguel is playing out of his mind here already. He's just brutal. And now, this is the moment where you want to intercept this army of archers. You will get scareboarding now if you're Miguel after clicking up to Castle Age. You just want to keep track of these archers, chase them, and then engage once you have +1 defense. And when that happens, these archers will all die, and on this flank, we're going to have DauT with like 10-15 archers, whereas BacT is going to have like 3 or 4. So BacT's total army is 17-18 right now. He could lose 12 of that very easily. And right now, Miguel's team is just waiting for the +1 defense to come in to take this engagement. Capoch is on the way to Castle Age as well, but his scouts aren't really finding any value over here. Archers from Project Belgium not inflicting much damage either, and here it comes. We're gonna get a nice round. If you are BacT here, you're doing the right thing. Just try to intercept or try to pick off some archers from DauT, and honestly, DauT shouldn't really engage this one. He can support Miguel here, but I feel like this is Miguel's fight here mostly. DauT shouldn't be wasting his archers in this one, because if BacT can trade the archers here, that's actually reasonable for BacT. I think BacT got the most out of this one, but this is why it's so dangerous to move out alone with archers. And if you don't have cavalry support, that could be a disaster for you. So at the end of the day, as we have a ping coming in here from Teal as well, DauT knows that there is archers here as well, and they may get intercepted too. Castle Age is in first for Miguel. One thing worth noting is that F1re and Project Belgium, neither of them actually clicked up just yet, so they will be heavily delayed towards Castle Age, and that could hurt so much because the first couple of knights could do an insane damage to both F1re and Project Belgium. So this flank apparently has a prolonged Feudal Age. As I said, in this case, the Britain player's micro is going to be key, and for now I think that F1re is holding this one. We will have some villagers marching through here from Project Belgium. What are these guys up to? Knights already coming in from Miguel, and they want to intercept these archers. As DauT may get some damage done on his archers here with the scouts as well. And this could be a bad fight for DauT, because crossbows are coming in for BacT. BacT actually did beat DauT to Castle Age, and as bad as the previous fight was for BacT, this one is beautiful. Crossbows just in. And as I said, these crossbows could actually harass this gold mine from this side. Even more so, DauT is down to 11 archers, and he's got 16 crossbows heading towards his base. He is fully walled, which is a nice thing here. In fact, the easiest way for BacT to bash through the walls would be here. Project Belgium, this villager is going to get intercepted. The second one may not be intercepted though, and that's why you always send 2 forward villagers, because the first one is going to get killed, and the second one is going to get killed as well. Oh, feels bugum, man. Project Belgium is being clapped over here pretty hard. F1re is mixing in some skirms, and DauT now going for his own crossbows. Project Belgium not up to Castle Age though, and that could be a disaster for him because F1re is gonna have Britain crossbows, and those can just lock down resources very well with all those range. And he sent 3, and he sent 3 villagers. So he's actually gonna get 1 villager surviving this big army from BacT coming in. So I think that despite the fact that Project Belgium seems like he's getting clapped, the other flank seems to be going in the favor of BacT's team right now. Upgrade-wise, we have +2 defense for Capoch, and he's got +1 attack as well. Same upgrades for Miguel. He's also got Boso. No Boso for Capoch. DauT already, BacT already having Boso himself. And, well, this villager is just big chilling over here. He's not really doing much. On the way to Castle Age's Project Belgium now as well. And since DauT is just sitting inside his base, it looks like the Infinity Legends team will just decide, okay, we just want to take down the production buildings, and I think this is a reasonable thing to do here. You want to punish DauT for sitting back inside his base, and those knights can kill that building super fast. And it's only 4 crossbows defending, so DauT may very well lose this archer range, and that would be a huge achievement for IL indeed. And now they can just disengage. DauT and Miguel will try to trap this army in here, but I think this is a good enough army number for them to take a reasonable engagement. It's pretty much going to be a tie game here. So, at the end of the day, no one is going to win this engagement, but the fact that one archer range is lost from DauT is actually a nice thing for the Infinite Legends team. And they will also have the hill advantage over here, so this is actually a very, very good fight for BacT and Capoch, firing down hills. We also have Tumbling for BacT already, something that you may have seen being researched. And that means that they are winning this fight over here. Project Belgium's Fort Voyager is dead. So it all comes down to how much BacT and Capoch can carry Project Belgium over here, because Project Belgium seems like he's gonna get smashed by fire. In fact, I wouldn't mind fire sending all those crossbows to the base of Capoch, because Capoch is having a free TC boom behind this one. Miguel, same thing as well. Voyager count-wise, we have even Voyager count for the 2 pocket players. So, at this point, BacT is down to 22 crossbows, DauT is at 14. Project Belgium up to Castle Age, but as I said, he's under heavy pressure, his wood lines are exposed. You got towers on the key wood lines, which is something I like. But, as I said, you just want to march forward and hit Capoch now, because his base is very exposed. He's gonna have a few knights defending, and this could be very bad for fire, though. Because, how much is that? It's like 12 knights against 18 crossbows. Especially considering these crossbows, many of them are low HP, and many of those crossbows, well, all those crossbows have no tumbling. This is a fight that Capoch could easily take. He's got +1/+2. Even against this choke point, I think he can get a reasonable surround. And this is a great fight for Capoch. They might be smashing the army of fire over here. Nice move that you don't send in more knights than what you need, and it's gonna be a cleanup. Not the most cost-efficient fight ever for Capoch, but it buys Project Belgium time, which is a huge thing. That you just destroyed Fire's army very easily over here. Counterattack coming in here on the other side by Miguel and DauT. Score keeps flipping, so this game is still very, very close. Project Belgium has quite a lot of crossbows, and remember now, in Castle Age, it all comes down to how good the micro is from the Britain player. Because Project Belgium is going to have better crossbows overall in this one. And for now, it seems like this game is going to go long. Is the KD on the bottom total KD or only eco KD? This one is eco KD. So economy killed and lost. You see that little hammer right next to the skull. We could switch to something else, like resources could be a reasonable thing, or KD. Let's actually take a look at the resources tab, because that might be a little bit more informative for us to see what is happening. So, let's see, it looks like now the target is going to be Capoch, and that is reasonable, because if you're hitting the pocket player, the flanks will have to come in with the archers and help, but the flanks have a slow-moving army, as it looks like BacT is trying to do some insane team walls over here already. Project Belgium going up to what is going to be free TCs. And his crossbows are just holding this here right now. He's pretty much playing a 1v1 against fire. But now this is a fight that soon Infinite Legends will have to engage. Crossbows coming from the back. This could be a beautiful trap though, because the TCs will prevent the movement of this army pretty much. And as I said, knights will come in from the other side. This army will either do a lot of damage to Capoch's eco, or it's going to be an absolute disaster and they will get this army completely wiped out. And I feel like the latter is going to be the case, because that army seems to be completely trapped over there. And the home field advantage is on the side of Capoch. Like, he's got the TCs firing over here. He can delete houses so he can get better surrounds. This is an excellent fight for Capoch's team. All the army from DauT is gonna get wiped out. Same thing for all these knights from Miguel. Miguel is down to 10 knights, Capoch has 16. But more importantly, DauT is down to 17 crossbows. BacT has 40. which is insane. Miguel, however, on the way to Imperial with those resources, whereas for Capoch, he's nowhere close. He's nowhere close. Big fight over here, as I said. Ethiopian crossbows will just take this fight easily. So this is a fight that Fire has to micro well. +2 defense coming in here for Project Belgium as well. But this all comes down to micro. If Fire can just micro his archers, it's going to be an absolute pain for Project Belgium. But for now, he's holding, and I think that is what matters for him. That he's holding out, he's not completely dead. He's behind by 10 villagers compared to Fire. Otherwise, BacT is obviously ahead of DauT, and it looks like we're gonna have some elite skirms from Project Belgium, which may work as long as these are just crossbows here on the left side, but once Miguel sends in cavalry help, it could be different, and that castle is coming up at a very, very good time for Miguel. Beautiful place in this hill in front of his base, and that's gonna be for chivalry, so you're gonna get chivalry resurged immediately, and that's where things are gonna get really bad for Capoch's team. So you are gonna have a flood of Cavalier very soon, and Capoch is just about to click up to Imperial. That's gonna be like a solid 2 minutes deficit. But this is the time where you can actually win the game if you are Capoch's team. You pretty much want to commit right now to this one and just say, okay, you're going up to Imperial, we're still in Castle Age, so we will have better army. We will have, well, knight numbers are actually pretty close, but the crossbow support is much, much bigger for BacT over here. And they might just march right into DauT space. In the meanwhile, we will have a huge cleanup over here. Enormous cleanup. Not sure how this happened, because this was close combat, so the crossbows of Project Belgium should have been much, much better, but they just got vibed. They just got absolutely slaughtered. Now he has to go for elite skirms, which works until there is no cavalry showing up. But this isn't a good fight for Project Belgium over there. Meanwhile, disaster fight for DauT on the other side. He's gonna get all his crossbows slaughtered. DauT on the way to Imperial, so is BacT. DauT's gonna have a head start into Imperial, but he only has 9 crossbows. So yes, he's gonna be faster to him, but he's not gonna have no army. Up to Imperial is Miguel though, and that's gonna be Cavalier very soon. Right now, if you're BacT, you wanna fall back to your base and save your army. Luckily, for BacT, they pretty much stonewalled the entire map off, and that's actually a huge thing. And Capoch is now coming in to intercept Fire's army, which would bring a huge redemption to Project Belgium over here. So the fact that this army could be intercepted, especially if Capoch decides to right-click that army, would be huge. Because now Fire would go down in army, and as I said, the key here is that you have to delay until Capoch reaches Imperial himself, so he's gonna get Cavalier. If he gets Cavalier, and honestly, really, BacT's woes are coming in clutch here, because this buys time. Now the problem is that BacT's crossbows are massively mispositioned, and if this army of crossbows gets intercepted by the Cavalier, which seems to be the likely scenario, then we suddenly are in a situation where BacT, even though he had a massive army lead compared to DauT, it's all going to fade away, as we're also going to see a DauT castle over here from BacT. Crossbows, he's still far from Imperial, too far from Imperial. He's trying to separate his army, like pretty much throw a bait to DauT, and or that might actually work. That's actually a nice move from BacT over there. Throwing a bait, losing 15 crossbows for the price of saving other 20. Not ideal, but it actually worked out. And now, guess what? The cavalry is overrunning Fire, because it's a 2v1 on the north against the BacT, but it's a 2v1 on the south as well against Fire, who's also on the way to Imperial. But Paladin is on the way already for Miguel, and that's huge. He's got Chivalry, he's got Paladin. Castle is up for Capoch, and he's soon getting Cavalier. Trade being set up for Miguel's team. And this is an excellent game number 1 over here, I have to say. Really, I think that the BacT's woes are extremely important here, because this is buying a lot of time for Capoch to get his upgrades. Now, these are unfinished, and Project Belgium could actually be destroyed by these Cavalier. They see the Cavalier coming in. This is a fight that you might actually consider taking if you're Capoch before those guys are upgraded to Paladin. Capoch is missing Iron Casting, though. That's huge. Capoch only has +1, and that's actually +4 if you see this overlay over there. The script here is actually bugged, but you see it's +4 defense, only +1 attack. Whereas for Miguel, it's +4/+4. So Miguel's got fully upgraded Frankish Paladin here. Capoch is still missing Paladin upgrade. Capoch is still missing attack upgrades. So this is no longer a fight that he's comfortable taking. In the meanwhile, on the north, we have BacT holding off DauT for the time being. The problem is that now it's going to be a forward castle for Miguel. Miguel is playing out of his mind here. And the thing is that Fire is having a comfortable lead. compared to Project Belgium. He's already in Imperial, Project Belgium just going up, and this is a very uncomfortable fight to take for Capoch, I think. It's Cavalier with +2, +4 versus fully upgraded Paladins. This is not a fight that Capoch wants to take, and I feel like Miguel is doing an excellent job here. Miguel was playing out of his mind. He beat Capoch into Castle Age, he beat Capoch into Imperial, and now Capoch is losing all the Cavaliers. 55 Paladin. 55 Paladin from Miguel. I'm not sure if he's actually being slung resources. We'll have to check it out after the game. But holy smokes. That is just insane from Miguel. And now Capoch is down to 8 Cavalier. I think this game is over. We're talking about 60 fully upgraded Paladins and 30 Arbs here versus 19 Arbs and 20. Like, if you look at overall military numbers, it's 109 against 41. Miguel's Paladin is coming in clutch here. And all that DauT needs to do now is just, you know, not die. And Miguel should be able to just run into the base of Capoch, who is getting Paladin just now, but without Blast Furnace, that's not going to help you that much either. And it's about numbers. It's about the position in this game, where Miguel's team is already setting up trade. They are in the face of Project Belgium over here. And the Paladins will just rampage the food eco of Capoch. Villager-wise, Miguel's team is having a comfortable lead as well, but it's the army numbers that are scary here. 12 Cavaliers against 60 Paladins. You got Arbs from Fire inside the base of Capoch as well. And that is probably the end of the game, because Capoch is dropping in villager numbers really fast. He's down to 100. And that is indeed the end of the game. Beautiful plays. Beautiful plays by Miguel. I think Fire outplayed Project Belgium by a massive margin. DauT versus BacT on the north was pretty much even, but Miguel also outplayed the other pocket, Capoch. And that brings us to game number 1 being won by Miguel's team. Very nicely done by them. Let's see. What I want to check is... this is brought sold. Do we have tributes? I think we have tributes. Yeah. Miguel was doing this without Sling. Look at this. 0 resources sent. As we have Liquid Product gifting 10 subs. Thank you so much, Liquid Product. I greatly appreciate your support. So, like, Miguel was doing so good in terms of getting the Paladins out on the field that I thought he was being slung, but he wasn't. It was all just great macro, very nice timing for the fights that he has taken, and really, he just beat Capoch into Imperial by a minute, and he used that perfectly. So, with that, it's game number 1 in the hands of Miguel's team. We will be going into game number 2 in a matter of seconds. Can you count Miguel's farms? Why? Why should I? We can technically count it, yes. But yeah, this was an excellent game to start off with. I'm really happy that the game is actually balanced. Miguel had 50 farms, exactly 50 farms. Which is a little bit low, by the way, for Paladins. You would want 60-ish, probably. But yeah, his macro here was good, especially like 50 farms with handcart, with crop rotation. Yeah, I think it works out. Probably would have been better to get a couple more farms down in the long run, but it wasn't really needed. How was he able to afford everything? It's timing. It is really timing that he never really lost a huge army. That's the thing. So, where's that stat at? So, here is the thing. That he destroyed just a lot more value overall. Of course, this includes the end of the game as well, but he never really lost an army, if you remember. There was no fight where he actually took a bad engagement, so he was able to preserve his knight numbers for the majority of the engagements, which was huge. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He was 4 TCs as well, whereas Capoch was on 3. Actually, Capoch was on 4 at the end of the game as well. But I think Miguel may have been faster to 4 TCs. So that's basically it. Miguel's macro must have been very, very good in this one, but he was definitely not slung. That's something we know, because otherwise it would show up on the overlay. Anyways, with that, the next game is going to be Seize the Mountain. So, as I said, I feel like Seize the Mountain is one of those maps where generally just decent civilizations can work out. I would think that something like Tatars is a pretty likely scenario over here. Other than that, we'll see what else we can get. By the way, I need to